Local programming on KRWG Public Media made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.
This is KRWG Public Media, TV, radio, online, news that matters. Now, across the Mesilla Valley and the borderland, the stories that shape our community. From the KRWG Broadcast Center at New Mexico State University, this is Newsmakers.
Hello and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Anthony Moreno. On the program today, we learn more about efforts to take on food insecurity in our region. Joining us in studio is Lorenzo Alba Jr., Executive Director of Casa de Peregrinos. Lorenzo, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys taking time out to speak with me.
We certainly appreciate you joining us to discuss an important issue in our region. Can you start off by sharing a little bit more about the mission of your organization?
Sure. Casa de Peregrinos is an organization that focuses on food insecurity. It's been around for about 45 years here in our community, very storied nonprofit here in our community. Supported very well by this community for all those years. And of course, we've seen a lot of growth in that mission over the last about 10, 15 years. We've seen a lot of things happening in the community that we know we've had a huge impact on, especially when it comes to poverty, food insecurity. And now the things that are happening with our growth has just been tremendous. So we're excited about some things coming up and a little nervous with what's going on with our economy. So.
Well, you bring that up, so I mean, let's jump right into that. When there is an issue with the economy, how does that impact your organization and your mission?
You know, I think the biggest thing right now is the cost of food. And I mean, it's affecting the consumer. So the folks that are out there trying to make ends meet, even with SNAP benefits, you know, it's still difficult to make it. So we are the safety net. We are the ones that are really trying to impact how families shop, how they feed their families, and that's huge. For us, we're very blessed because we have great partners like Roadrunner Food Bank, some vendors that we purchase from, and of course some of the retailers here in town are huge supporters of what we do. This really makes it easier for us, but we're able to give families right now an average of about 85, 100 pounds of food every time they come to the pantry. A lot of fresh produce, which our partners at Roadrunner are bringing in from all over the place, so we're very grateful for those wonderful collaborations. But that's impactful to the families that we serve. And that is something that I think they appreciate more than anything, because we're giving them food that they might not normally be able to purchase with what's going on with the cost of food. Our cost of food has gone up 21% year over year. It's large. So our budget just keeps going up. September
is Hunger Action Month.
Yes.
What is it about this month that you hope your organization can accomplish?
For us, it's a way for us to advocate for the hungry, advocate for food insecurity and for what we do at Casa de Peregrinos. But it's also an opportunity for us to do some fundraising, you know, build awareness and continue to really let the community know what Casa de Peregrinos is trying to do in their communities. Now, we don't just serve Las Cruces, we serve, you know, the rural communities of Doña Ana County. And with our great partnerships with the city of Las Cruces, Doña Ana County, we've been able to do some great things in those areas.
Your organization works with partners in communities throughout the county, as you mentioned. How important is community to your organization?
Oh, it's everything. There's absolutely no way you can take on a mission like ours without collaboration. Absolutely not. It does. I know it sounds very cliche, but it does take a village to do what we do. And including everybody in it, other nonprofits, government agencies, this is huge for us, you know, including the municipality and the county and what we do. There's no way we could do this work without them. So we're very grateful that they trust us and believe in our mission and continue to support what we do. And of course, there's the individual donors, the families that have been supporting our mission for a long time. That's community. That's the way that you get this done. You do it together.
When your organization holds a ribbon cutting ceremony for perhaps a new facility or a specific event you have going on, you have quite the turnout from many different people in the community, from local businesses to community groups. What is it about your organization that you really pay attention to ensure that you have that community buy-in?
I think we have the right message. And the right message is that we want the community to trust us. We don't just want to take your money. We want to be good stewards of the funding that comes in. And we want to show you that what we are doing is for the benefit of the community. It's not a Casa de Peregrinos thing. It's a community effort to really have a great attack on food insecurity. If we don't have that collaboration within the community, we fail. Absolutely fail. I think the founders of this organization years ago, that's what they had in mind. They had in mind the idea of this community coming together to really impact this issue of food insecurity. And we want to continue that legacy. And that's why I think why people come out. They see what we're doing. We're very public about sharing who our partners are with the community. We're very public about sharing who our clients are, who the people that come for services are. We don't hold anything back when it comes to sharing with the community what's going on within our organization. That makes it easier for them to trust us. If we're very transparent and very good stewards of the funding, that makes a huge difference.
It's no secret that food insecurity is a big challenge for many families in New Mexico, many people in New Mexico. You mentioned the cost of food in our interview already, but what do you think people really need to understand about the challenge of food insecurity in our state?
Well, it has a big effect. Obviously, there are the idea that food insecurity affects education is a big deal, because a kid that's not well fed, how is he going to learn at school if he doesn't have food at home? He might get a breakfast, a lunch, maybe even a dinner at school. And I'm really glad that the state is doing these at no cost to kids now. But the bottom line on it, is that enough? What about on the weekend? What's going on with them? What if they're very active? Is what they have enough? How does that affect their learning? And then there's health conditions that come up with it. You know, obviously one of them is people can't afford to buy healthy food, so now all of a sudden we have obesity issues in childhood. There's a lot of things that can happen with food insecurity that people just take for granted. And obviously it has an effect on the pocketbook for families. Now families have to decide whether do we pay the rent? Do we pay our utility bills? Should I go ahead and get these meds that I need to take, you know, for my condition? Or do I buy food? Which one do I do? And I think it has a big effect on the entire community. And we, again, want to be that safety net, but we know that we can't do this alone. We want to collaborate with school districts. We want to collaborate with the municipality, the county, and other nonprofits to really do this together and take a close look at the effects of what happens here.
We saw so many communities be impacted by food insecurity during the pandemic, and there was many challenges, you know, just from folks being hit in their pocketbook to food supply chains being impacted. What were some of the lessons your organization learned from that experience, and you think maybe helping your organization today and perhaps in the future?
Right now, the biggest thing is that we saw there was a major lack of infrastructure. Not only in our communities here in Doña Ana County and Las Cruces, but throughout the whole state of New Mexico. What it did prompt is a strategic plan by our organization to really make an impact on the communities that we serve in our county by adding infrastructure in areas that are virtual food deserts. We want to bring buildings there that will impact the community in a way that really has never ever been done before. Mobile food pantries are a wonderful asset. It's a great program that we have, but having an actual building in a community where people can come to makes a big difference. And I'm going to use Hatch as an example. We opened Hatch facility in January. Before that, we had a mobile food pantry in Garfield, Rincon, and in Hatch. Between those three locations, once a month, we were serving a total of about 175, maybe at the most 200 families. Since we've opened that facility, we have almost 1,000 families signed up for services in that area. So yes, infrastructure does work. What we thought was going to happen, what our board of directors thought was going to happen with that, is actually happening now. Now we can go to our leaders in Santa Fe, locally, and say, this works. The investment is big, but this works, and long term, this is the best way to attack food insecurity in our area.
You've mentioned that you have mobile food pantries set up and running throughout the region, but having that infrastructure in a community, being able to show that it's really making a difference, having the ability to reach so many more families. How do you feel that's really making a dent in taking on hunger?
It's going to make a big dent on the gap, on the hunger gap, because again, we've already proved it in Hatch. Now we have 2 facilities that officially break ground in October, one of them in Chaparral. That one is fully funded, and we'll just go around construction. It'll probably take a year to build. And that is capital outlay, and then Doña Ana County ponying up the rest of the money to get that done. So without our leaders in Santa Fe that really had the vision to do this, and without our leaders at Doña Ana County, we would not be able to do this facility. Now, this is a colonia that doesn't have a grocery store there, that doesn't have very many services there. Sunland Park is the next project, and that one's not completely fully funded, but we're going to go back and ask our leaders in Santa Fe to fully fund it this year to really get that going, but that breaks ground also.
You bring up the issue of not having a grocery store or a place where people can get nutritious food that can help them alleviate hunger. Food deserts, such a big challenge for many folks in New Mexico, especially in our rural areas. You think efforts like this can really help in that, take on those food and eliminate food deserts? Absolutely
will. And just to give you an example, we decided at a community meeting in Chaparral about a week and a half ago, we decided to go ahead and do a pop-up produce pantry. So our friends at Roadrunner brought basically about 40,000 pounds of food. And we were able to pass that out in about a 2.5, 3 hour period to about 300 families. That is just tremendous. And that shows you the need. At first, we didn't know if people were going to come to it. There was maybe 50 people there. And all of a sudden, there was a line of cars a mile long to try to come pick up some of this food. That is the kind of thing that we need to do on a regular basis. But by having the infrastructure there in the future, we won't have to do that as often. We can take it to other areas of the county that need those kind of services. But they'll be able to also take a little drive or carpool over to our new pantry in Chaparral and pick up food.
How important is the SNAP program in addressing hunger in our region, and how does that really affect folks who are dealing with hunger on a daily basis?
It's so important, and it's important that the community stays in touch with their federal delegation on this. Give them a call, make sure that they get that farm bill passed quickly, make sure that they always keep SNAP alive and well, and make sure that there's not too much changes in it, because that's always a challenging part, is making sure that these nutrition programs keep moving forward. I think that that's a way for both parties, and the Republicans and the Democrats, where they don't always see eye to eye on the nutrition programs. They don't need to be looking at it that way. They need to be looking at it in the very humanitarian thing that it is. Taking care of people that need food in your own country is a big deal.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think maybe some folks may have a certain idea of what somebody who may be dealing with hunger may be. During the pandemic, we certainly came across stories where folks who are working full-time jobs make it a decent living, but are still faced with different costs of living, higher costs of living, and other issues that may lead them into food insecurity. Can you kind of share with us just how big food insecurity can be and who it may be affecting?
I think it affects everybody. I think we take for granted the idea that even a family that both parents might be working and they have some income coming into their household, but is that really enough? And does that really cover everything that you need to cover as far as nutrition for your family, as meals for your family? Do you really have enough income coming in to provide 3 meals for your family? I don't know very many people that do. I know that at our pantry, we ask very specific questions because we want to know what's going on with them. Can we refer them to some other programs that might be able to help them in order for them to make ends meet? Do we send them to another agency that might be able to help them with some additional resources? It's difficult to really tell how many people are going through this because not everybody has the courage to go to a food pantry. Not everybody has the courage to apply for food stamps for the SNAP program. You know, everybody's like, oh, they were not going to give them to me. I'm not going to qualify. I think this state does a lot more for trying to make people qualify, make them easy to qualify, than other states do. But I'm really proud of that here in our state, that we at least try to make those efforts here.
Well, let's talk about your programs a little bit more that you do offer. You have an emergency food program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that one's the one here in Las Cruces. And since we've opened a brand new facility, we've added a few more things to that program. In a nutshell, it's giving us an opportunity to serve more food to more people. One of the things we've done is we've added a drive-up pantry to food security, which it's everything that we do locally, food security program. Everything that's been done locally for 45 years. That's what that program is. Well, we've added the drive-up pantry at our new facility. We also have a delivery program where other agencies, including the fire department, emergency services, LCPD, they help us get food out into the community for emergency purposes. They're the ones that are also boots on the ground that see what's really happening with families in our community. And if they see somebody that is going through these issues, they can report it back to us, or they can come pick up a box and deliver it themselves to the families. That's made everything really easy for us. It's also allowed us to be able to get more food out into the community. That's what that program does.
You also have a program that addresses folks who may be unhoused in our area. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. The program for unhoused clients is really designed to provide some food for them to take with them. They are allowed to come a couple of times a week to pick up bags of food and drinks through this program. Is it enough? Probably not. We also refer them to have meals over at the soup kitchen, anywhere else that they can address some of this. We've added Lucha for Hope about 11 years ago, which is when we have the food truck come at least once a month and basically provide a hot gourmet meal for unhoused friends and neighbors. And that's been very fruitful, and they really love when we're able to do those things. But I think it's difficult to address that in a better way, and these are things that we're trying to strive to do better.
What about senior hunger? What is your organization doing to address that?
We've added a day, and so every Tuesday is Senior Tuesday. Above and beyond the fact that any senior can come to our pantry Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when we're open, we have also got a special day for them on Tuesday, and they can just sign up online or sign up when they come. And on Tuesday, they would be just go through the drive up and not even have to get out of their cars. Their caregivers could take them or come pick up for them as proxies. We try to address that the best that we can.
How important are volunteers to your organization?
Oh my gosh, they're the core of everything that we do. They're the heart of this mission. Without volunteers, it's difficult to do what we do. We need more. Quite honestly, like I said earlier, that's been one of the most difficult things to bring back is everybody. But we're very blessed with some great volunteers that really just put all their heart and soul into it.
What are ways people can learn more about volunteering or perhaps supporting your organization?
Go to our website. There's a place where you can sign up. You can also call, and Crystal Portillo is our volunteer coordinator. Give her a call and ask her, where do I fit in? Where can you put me to work? Whether it's in the back packing food, whether it's setting up the carts, whether it's directing traffic at our mobile food pantries or at our drive-up pantries, going to the mobile food pantries and helping out there, or helping out in the office somehow or another. There's always something for you to do there at Casa de Peregrinos.
We only have about a minute left with you, but I'd like to learn more about your goals coming up in the near future.
Oh my gosh, the big buildings, those are big. So it's huge for us. If we can just get those done, like I tell people, if I can just finish these, I can go back to being an executive director instead of a project manager for a construction company. That would be big for us. Right now we have a hunger strike happening next week. It's a fasting program that we have as a fundraiser. And we in that program are really trying to be in solidarity with our friends that are going through food insecurity. So those are the things.
Lorenzo Alba Jr. is Executive Director of Casa de Peregrinos. Thank you so much for joining us, Lorenzo.
Thank you so much for having me.
Moving on, one organization in El Paso is teaching youth rock music. You Rock is an organization working to share the power of music with girls as well as gender fluid, non-binary, and trans youth who participate in a 2-week rock camp. Our producer Courtney Hill has more in this Community Connection.
Yeah, so You Rock is based on the concept of Girls Rock Camp, which is essentially just trying to get young ladies involved in rock and roll, playing in bands, forming bands, learning instruments, writing songs, kind of like, it's a tough area, I think, to get into. It's so male dominated. There's not a lot of women in the industry. There's definitely not enough women in the industry. So one of our things here is that we want to give young ladies in this community a chance to learn these things, to have these tools, to be empowered, so that when they're ready to go off, if they want to be in a band, great. If they want to work in the music industry, great. They have some background now. Almost all of them have no experience at all. So we're introducing them literally to instruments they've never held and saying, this is how you play it. And they spend 6 hours a day here. And I'm telling you, within a couple of days, they're writing songs. It's insane. It's gonna blow your mind what these kids do, literally in 10 days.
The camp is really fun. Like, I love it a lot. It has like so many instruments. There's guitar, bass, drums, and piano, and obviously the vocals.
You tell them to sing, right?
They're putting a lot of pressure on themselves in such a short amount of time to pick up an instrument or sing. For a lot of them, it's the first time. And so it's amazing how they just rise to the occasion. They just come in and they're like, we're gonna be in front of people in 2 weeks, let's do it.
I just have a lot of nerves, so I get up on the stage and it's just like, whoa. You know? So I'm just trying to work through my nerves.
Right now we're at the Plaza Film Festival and all the girls are about to perform their songs live in front of a pretty big audience, and I'm pretty excited for them. They're pretty nervous, but I have the utmost confidence and belief that they could do it.
We're so excited to finally perform after our weeks of practice. Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Something about these girls in particular, when you get them together, they bond and they see what it is, what the curriculum is, they get into it and they just gravitate towards trying to get this band together and create these songs together, and it's just a really wonderful thing for them and for us.
Know what flame, you know, that these girls have if you don't put them in front and give them the opportunity to be able to express themselves musically.
These girls are so amazing, and they're a ability to learn and create has been inspiring.
For those about to rock, we salute you. That's it for this episode of Newsmakers. I'm Anthony Moreno. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.